democracy that's determined by dignity and diversity, not despotism and despair. And that's what we're here to demand today. That democracy, that dignity can extend to DC, can extend to our college campuses. That we as students can have autonomy in our district and in the decision making of our education. And so, when you all go back to your families today, to your friends, when you tell them why you walked out, I want you to remember that today we are here to demand non-cooperation. Because when the textbooks of tomorrow look back on the institutions and their actions today, we need them to remember what light they'll cast them in. And so, even if those institutions fail us, we can always turn and trust each other and feel comforted in the knowledge that who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe!
Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe!
Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe!
Thank you all so much. It's been a pleasure being out here.
When our rights are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back! When our rights are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back! When workers are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back! When workers are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back! From DC to Palestine, DC to Palestine, occupation is a crime! Occupation is a crime! DC to Palestine, from DC to Palestine, occupation is a crime! Occupation is a crime! Georgetown, Georgetown, we know you! Georgetown, Georgetown, we know you! You endanger workers too! You endanger workers too! Georgetown, Georgetown, we know you! Georgetown, Georgetown, we know you! You endanger workers too! You endanger workers too! Thank you, everyone! I'm here today on behalf of the Georgetown Coalition for Workers' Rights, a student organization committed to ending the exploitation of labor at Georgetown and beyond. It is a privilege to be speaking before a group of people who recognize that Donald Trump's occupation of D.C. is a flailing attempt of a dying empire to intensify the surveillance of its people, to criminalize state-induced poverty, and to castrate the power of the working class. Many are calling this an unprecedented descent into fascism. Although it is a new escalation, colonized and oppressed people of the world, from the American internal colony to the global south, could tell us that what we are seeing is not the exception, but the rule of American imperialism. I want to focus instead on a phenomenon that the Martiniquais poet and politician Aimé Césaire named in 1950 as the imperial boomerang. In his revolutionary essay, Discourse on Colonialism, Césaire writes the following words: "And then, one fine day, the bourgeoisie is awakened by a terrific boomerang effect. The Gestapos are busy, the prisons fill up, the torturers standing around the racks invent, refine, discuss. People are surprised, they become indignant. They say, how strange, but never mind, it's Nazism, it will pass. And they wait, and they hope, and they hide the truth from themselves, that it is barbarism, the supreme barbarism, the crowning barbarism that sums up all the daily barbarisms, that it is Nazism, yes, but that before they were its victims, they were its accomplices, that they tolerated that Nazism before it was inflicted on them, that they absolved it, shut their eyes to it, legitimized it, because until then, it had been applied only to non-European peoples. We stand in D.C., in the capital of what our government declares to be the most free, the most moral, the most democratic nation in the world. Yet we lack political representation, and public spaces have become playgrounds for the ROTC, which was right over there. Shame! And our people are being terrorized and brutalized by almost 30 different police agencies that govern D.C. in what can only be described as barbarism. However, shame, as Césaire writes, before we were the victims of Metropolitan Police Department has strong ties with the State of Israel and has received training from the Israeli occupation forces, including a counterterrorism security training program, which an MPD officer calls a preventative measure that MPD officers and DC residents benefit from. MPD uses the training and surveillance technology they receive from Israelis to target Black and brown community members, and ICE uses the very same tactics to arrest delivery drivers and service workers in DC. The fact that there have been 140 Black people killed by DC police since 2013 using the training mechanisms of the IOF is the imperial boomerang in action. When we call for freedom from the occupation, from DC to Palestine, we must recognize that our liberation is meaningless without the liberation of the Palestinian people. As always, Gaza must be our compass, and a world in which armed military troops stalk the streets is a mere fraction of what Palestinians living under Israeli occupation experience every minute of every hour. If we organize for freedom in DC, we must understand that the federal occupation of DC is our being awakened by the terrific boomerang effect that Césaire first mentioned, which can be traced to the American-funded genocide in Gaza, to the first Nakba in 1948, and to the Balfour Declaration made by the British government in 1917. We understand the federal takeover as a part of a larger systemic flaw, one bigger than any single politician. While much of the conversation around the federal occupation of D.C. has centered on restoring the power of the local government, the administration of our Mayor Muriel Bowser laid the groundwork for the Trump administration. Last year, Democrats in City Hall passed the D.C. Secure Omnibus Crime Bill, which used the exact same justification of law and order to legalize our constant video surveillance under the pretense of eliminating crime. The local government, far before the federal occupation, expanded pretrial detention and cleared homeless encampments using inhumane measures. We cannot solely call for an end to federal occupation, but also for the end of the careers of politicians like Bowser, who profess to share priorities with the Trump administration and who have sold their souls and their civic obligation to their community for profit. If we refuse to accept the federal takeover of our streets, then we must also recognize that the liberal status quo in our city started the work of targeting Black and brown communities that Trump is now finishing. ICE rides alongside our local police, leading to a tenfold increase in the typical number of ICE arrests in the first 2 weeks of the federal occupation. The immigrants who are the moral and economic backbone of this city are the very first targets of militarization and surveillance. Just last Thursday, we saw at a Hyundai plant in Georgia that immigrant labor is precisely what the federal officers are after. As ICE agents brutalized 475 people working in a plant outside of Savannah, the majority of which were Korean immigrants, it is deliberate and barbaric war against the working people of this country. I wish to end this speech by speaking about the place where we currently stand at Georgetown University. Interim President Robert Groves proudly proclaims that the university would do the work of fascism for the federal government by enforcing mask bans on campus after a protest last spring where GUPD dragged students out of Healy Hall for protesting the university's complicity in genocide. Not only does the mask ban endanger student protesters, infringe on personal liberties, and expose immunocompromised community members, but it is a distraction from the fact that our administration allowed federal agents to enter private university property and has refused to declare a sanctuary campus or protect its immigrant workers on temporary protective status. Georgetown is a corporation investing millions in genocide while exploiting its predominantly Black and Latino labor force. While Georgetown likes to pretend that the repression stems only from the Trump administration's crackdown on immigrant populations, we know that this university has been infringing on the rights of its workers for decades. Nowhere is that more clear than in a recent decision announced by the university University to cut the Georgetown University Transportation Shuttle, or GUTS buses. As a part of a string of decisions to bring in subcontractors to save money, the Georgetown administration, led by Chief Operating Officer David Green, is trying to eliminate all GUTS positions, forcing workers who have been driving for GUTS for decades to find alternate positions and accept pay cuts and precarious healthcare services because Georgetown claims it cannot afford to keep the fleet. Shame! In solidarity with the GUTS drivers, we have launched a petition demanding that the university refuse to subcontract the bus service, and there are flyers circulating with the CR code so that you too can raise the cry for justice for GUTS workers and sign the petition to protect GUTS. In the words of one GUTS bus driver, there's a certain kind of reputation that has more to do with morality, civic-mindedness. You're going to do this to us. You think you should still deserve to be called a civic-minded university that has Jesuit tradition? No. What happened to cura personalis? Where is that now? Georgetown has lost the right to be called a Jesuit institution, just as the United States has lost the right to be called a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Recognize the reparations of the imperial boomerang, that we must understand that liberation for the people of D.C. from federal occupation is meaningless without the liberation of all oppressed people around the world from the barbarism of capitalism and imperialism. As we fight for a free D.C., we must fight for freedom for the workers at Georgetown and all over the world, because it is the endless pursuit of profit over people that necessitated this rally today. In light of all of this, we have three concrete demands if we wish to create a world, a city, and a university free from the barbarism that's in there described. We demand that Georgetown University declares a safe touring campus and prohibits ICE and all other federal agents from entering any of its on civil liberties and raises the changes made this summer to the student code of conduct. The GUTS bus fleet and stop prioritizing profit over its workers. Thank you. Workers have all the power. Admin, you're all cowards. Admin, you're all cowards. The workers have all the power. I don't know what I've been told. I don't know what I've been told. The people here are mighty bold. The people here are mighty bold. There's one thing that's clear to me. The people here have unity. The people here have unity. Lies and threats will not divide. Lies and threats will not divide. The people standing side by side. The people standing side by side. Louder, Georgetown, one more time. I don't know what I've been told. I don't know what I've been told. The people here are mighty bold. The people here are mighty bold. There's one thing that's clear to me. There's one thing that's clear to me. The people here have unity. The people here have unity.
was to target Black and brown community members, further deploy ICE and DHS against our immigrant neighbors, and to quell dissent to his autocratic regime more broadly. However, for those of us with Gaza as our compass, we know that this is not a surprise. We see the exact same strategies being used by the Israeli occupation forces in occupied Palestine, and this is not a coincidence. The U.S. and the Zionist entity of Israel are interlinked politically, economically, and militarily through the shared use of surveillance technologies used to target marginalized populations, the arms shipments paid for by our so-called representatives, and the deadly information exchange between the IOF, ICE, and local police departments like NPD that are patrolling our streets right now. Shame! These police forces trade together to brutalize us and occupy us and keep the masses at bay because they fear our collective power. However, we are not only being repressed at the district level, but at the university level as well. At the so-called congressional hearing on anti-Semitism, our disgraceful interim president, Robert Rose, capitulated to Donald Trump's fascist demands and the white supremacist and Zionist ideology. He openly bragged about his immediate rejection of the historic landslide divestment referendum win in the spring, doubling down on this university's complicity in the ongoing genocide of the Palestinians in Gaza that has killed over hundreds of thousands of people to this day. But President Rose didn't just stop there. He's even trying to curtail our ability to protest this same genocide by implementing a regressive mask ban that will undoubtedly be used to target students of color and to try to intimidate us into silence. But intimidated, we are not! What these cowards do not understand is that repression breeds resistance. And that is why we walked out today. We demand that Georgetown University end its capitulation to the fascist Trump regime by denying ICE, NPD, and all federal officers access to our campus. We demand that Georgetown University roll back its repressive policy changes, disclose all investments and all academic partnerships with the Zionist entity, and divest from companies complicit in genocide. Let's continue to organize, strategically advance these demands, and understand that the DC struggle and the Palestinian struggle are intimately linked. And we will not be free until we are all free. Get out there, join an organization, join SJP, and don't just stick to the debate clubs. Get out there and make change about things that other people only want to sit around and talk about. Support this mutual aid, get COP and ICE watch training, and take back this university for students, professors, and for workers. Free Palestine! started. And I'm going to tell you for a minute about the District of Columbia. D.C., after the Civil War, won voting rights for all free men, including the newly freed enslaved people. When Congress and the federal government noticed that those people were winning political power, they took away D.C.'s ability to govern itself. That was wrong then, and for 100 years, D.C. was governed by a federally appointed board of governors. We could not set our own laws. We could not set our own budgets. We could not decide our own schools. We had no power. It was only in the 1960s, during the Civil Rights Movement, that former Mayor Marion Barry won home rule for the District of Columbia in what was the original Free D.C. campaign. Our movement now is named in honor of that campaign because we know that our struggle is connected to the struggle of the original residents of the district who had their rights and power taken away, to our ancestors who won home rule for D.C. 50 years ago, and to the threat that we face now. The good news is, people in D.C. are rising up. Over the last 3 weeks, we've seen our community members go on walking patrols at night to warn one another about ICE. We've seen neighbors blockade checkpoints to direct traffic away and keep people safe. We've seen our neighbors heckle these agents and make it clear that they're not welcome. We've seen, and on Saturday we saw tens of thousands of people in the streets who are united in making it clear that D.C. does not want this occupation. And D.C. does not want this occupation no matter what our mayor says. What we're all witnessing now is a time when we have an important choice to make. Just like you all walked out today, this morning, we are all going to face a choice of whether to continue to tolerate this administration's agenda, or if we are going to begin to not cooperate with it. That is what PRIEDNUYSЯ is building, and that is what we are all united in fighting for, including you all who walked out today. I also want to say that in addition to the demands that I've heard you all make to the administration of the university, D.C. communities need our universities to be good partners in this moment. When these colleges and universities showcase the District of Columbia in their student brochures and advertise the incredible city that these universities are located in, they cannot continue to profit off the communities of the District of Columbia without the solidarity and being in solidarity with the community. Georgetown is only one of 4 universities that are hosting walkouts. Howard is happening in 5 minutes. Howard students are walking out. These students will walk out after lunch, and so will Americans. So I want you to say, up with liberation! Up with liberation! Down, down with occupation! Down, down with occupation! Free D.C.!
This is what democracy looks like. unnecessary takeover of the city that we have chosen as our home. My name is Izzy, and I'm speaking to you today not only as a student, but as a leader of Voice for Immigrant Rights. And I want to use my time today to remind us that the takeover, militarization, and occupation of D.C. is indeed an immigrant rights issue. The Metropolitan Police Department, which was previously barred from collaborating with ICE under the D.C. Sanctuary Values Law, is now actively collaborating with ICE, fueling mass deportations, insecurity, and fear in our communities. Since the federal takeover of D.C., more than 500 detentions and deportations have taken place. More than 2,000 arrests have been made. According to a nonprofit worker who is seeing the effects of this occupation up close, people who are detained in D.C. are being transported to an overcrowded processing center in Chantilly, where they are subject to inhumane conditions. They are denied food, denied clean drinking water, denied showers, medical care, and access to legal counsel. People with final removal orders are being expeditiously sent to detention in Louisiana and then deported. It is all happening in a matter of days, and our partner organization who does detained adult work says they have never seen people deported at this speed. Many resistance narratives about the occupation of D.C. are highlighting the frivolousness of the National Guard's deployment. We see images of troops cleaning up trash and roaming around aimlessly. While this part of the narrative is important, we must center the attacks on our immigrant communities. This federalization is being used as a mechanism to terrorize D.C. immigrant communities, making our city more unsafe, more unstable, and more fashioned in the image of a white supremacist, fascist government. This is not the D.C. I have come to know as home. This is not the D.C. that I have come to know as beautiful. The strength and vibrancy of the city lies in its diversity and its interconnectedness. I would like to remind us all that although the cruelty and mass deportations we are observing are exceptional, the immigration system in this country has been built on an exploitative, exclusionary, and inhumane system. Throughout the history of the United States, immigrants have been demonized and labeled as an internal enemy in order for the state to consolidate.
Wow.
I know.
You know him?
Good morning. Hi, let me introduce myself. Lydia Sherman's VP of Communications.
Nice to meet you.
And you're with what outlet?
I'm freelance. So today I was supposed to be watching the Post, but they got Marvin coming out here today. So I figured since I was on my way, I would just chill, hang out for a little bit.
So we are going to have a period of time where you guys can take some pictures and cover, and then we're going to ask you if you're going to stick around and move over to Howard Place. We are reminding folks this is a private campus and we're trying to minimize disruption, but definitely don't want to interfere with your ability to cover news of the day.
Now, do you know if there's like any other planned actions to like, I guess, coordinate with the other schools that are doing things?
Okay.
And do you guys think that you're going to have like National Guard or ICE agents or any other federal law?
I went.
How you been?
Good, how about you?
I can't complain. How's Georgetown?
I still need to get my class.
Okay.
I'm Dan, resident with the Post. We've communicated.
You got a lot of black kids in there?
How are you?
Yeah.
A lot of change.
Wait, you work for Reuters now?
Yeah, today's actually my second day.
Oh, shit. Damn, Georgetown. Hey.
Yes.
I need somebody to do something with that force. I know you're here wrong, but I could make that shit work.
Okay, period.
Yeah, literally.
Make some shake.
Ooh, let's go. We're on camera. Yeah.
Georgetown, American's, the PRIEDNUYSYA, the Sunrise, organized by ourselves as well. And I was thinking about what to say here. And I wanted to start with what's the difference between us and American and GW in Georgetown. Is that democracy died on our campus. The difference between us and those schools is that Kamala Harris lost on our campus. We were here, standing right over there, when she resigned from the election. It impacts us much more deeply than any of the other schools. I remember being there. I remember seeing that. I remember the loss of the hope in our student body. I remember people crying in towers and screaming. I remember all of that happening. And I think that really impacted us a lot at the campus. And we didn't even know then what we know now. Shaw has always been over-policed, gentrified. People have always been out here on the streets being impacted by the policies of DC, policies of the president. And now, more so than ever, we are in danger. There was a federal checkpoint in DC, in Shaw, on UN 14th Street, set up by the National Guard. Every day, I'm hearing stories of students being impacted by the police. Just this weekend, a Howard student was arrested, and we don't even know about that. And this has been a problem way before the federalization of DC. I knew about 2 students who were shot during homecoming last year, alumni. I know about a student who was arrested trying to take the bus last year just for not paying his fare. And I know none of y'all pay your fare. And that would not happen if he was not a Howard student. They didn't think they could make an example out of him. And I heard a similar story happen just this last week of another student arrested for not paying their fare on the bus. This issue has been impacting all of us, I know. I heard of a Howard party that was raided by police just last week. Students were brutalized. And none of us even know what's happening. I haven't heard the university say much about any of these issues. And today we're starting to try and fix that. Today we're starting to try and take a stand. I suspect students have heard stories about the administration expelling students. I know a story from last year about them going to a student's dorm and harassing them. And because of that, we might be afraid to do stuff like this, to walk out. And we wanted this to be less of a walkout and more of a town hall, more of a teaching, more of a way for people to come here and tell y'all about what they know about the situation. People from student org, you have a professor, you have someone from PRIEDNUYSYA. And I'm going to start by introducing our PRIEDNUYSYA person. Their name is Frankie, and they're going to come up here and talk to y'all a little bit about this situation. So can we have a round of applause? Frankie, please come up here. We have about 5 to 6 speakers lined up for y'all over the course of the next hour. Thank you so much everyone for showing out. You can come sit on these blankets if you want. You can come chill and listen. But yeah, thank you so much, Frankie.
All right, y'all. Who keep us safe?
We keep us safe.
Who keep us safe?
We keep us safe.
Who keep us safe?
We keep us safe.
First and foremost, I want to say thank you for your courage. Thank you for being out today. For all of those who came out of class to stand on the lawn in solidarity with your classmates, with the residents of DC, because what is happening right now is not normal. I want y'all to know what is happening in our city is not normal. DC right now is occupied. We have federal forces, the ATF, the FBI, the DEA swarming our streets. And it's not okay. It is not okay. And so we at Free DC, we at Harriet's Wildest Dreams, we are fighting against authoritarian rule, and we need the young folks with us. We need college students with us, because the only way we are going to get free is if we do it together. The only way we can see freedom is if we care about the person to the left and the right of us. So when I ask you, I want you to dig down deep. Who keeps you safe?
We keep us safe.
Who keep us safe?
We keep us safe.
Who keep us safe?
We keep us safe.
By a show of hands, raise your hand if you've seen federal forces in our city. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Overwhelming hands. Raise your hand if you've been stopped by police in DC. Okay, a little better, a little better. But the point that I'm making is that we cannot normalize this. We cannot stand idly by. Raise your hand if you know what to do when you're stopped by police. What should you say? Can someone shout it out? Am I free to go? Repeat after me. Am I free to go?
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 And you don't consent to a search. So if I leave y'all with anything here today, it's that you have to make sure you know your rights. Be good upstanders. The first thing you should always ask is, am I free to go? If they say you're free to go, walk away. You don't have to say anything else. Do not consent to a search. Do not talk to police, because cops lie. Cops lie. And I'm going to turn it back over to our moderator. I will come back up periodically to give y'all some tips and tricks. But again, thank y'all for being out here today. It is up to all of us. Woo.
Thank you, Frankie. Who keep us safe?
We keep us safe.
Who keep us safe?
We keep us safe.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have a speaker from the Howard University Students for Justice in Palestine, who's going to speak to you a bit as well. Once again, if you want to speak, if you have anything you want to say, a story you want to share to the crowd, anything you think needs to be imparted to the university students here today, we're going to be standing over here. You can come speak to me and tell me a bit about what you want to say. We want this to be an open forum for students as well. We don't want to just be us here giving you knowledge. Everybody here has knowledge to give. Everybody here has a story to tell. So please come over and speak to us as well. Thank you all so much for coming again. And yeah, I'm going to introduce Andres.
Can everyone hear me?
A little louder.
Hello? Can we hear me now?
Yeah. A little louder. Speak into it. Speak into it.
Alright, this feels very official. Never used one of these things before, but we'll see how it goes. Alright, I'm going to start off with a little chant. For some here, it may not seem relevant to the situation, but to those who know, an occupation here is the same things that we're seeing happening in the occupation of Palestine. So, free, free!
Palestine.
Free, free!
Palestine.
Free, free!
Palestine.
Alright, good. I like the energy here. So I just want to thank everyone here for coming and taking time out of your day to make your voices heard. And it just fills me with so much joy and solidarity seeing the amount of people that are here right now at Howard University. Currently we are standing in the face of so much adversity throughout our city, throughout our country. Over the last 8 months we have seen families ripped apart by ICE agents, mass. We have seen immigrants. We have seen our fellow students punished for exercising their First Amendment rights. And now what seems to be another escalation in the Trump administration's continuing fascist agenda, we are now seeing National Guard troops stationed throughout our city. We are seeing federal and local police stationed throughout our city. And now Trump is threatened to go after other cities besides D.C., including Chicago and New York. They say this is for stopping crime, but we know that's not true. They say it is for the good of our city, but we know that's not true. They say it is for our safety, but we know that's not true. Increased policing has never been the solution to crime. Our city is fine without fascists running through it, and these pigs don't keep us safe. We keep us safe. Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
It may seem like we are fighting an uphill battle, but we cannot let that discourage us. Evil has taken many forms throughout history, whether it be fascism, colonialism, imperialism, racism, sexism. But throughout its lifetime, evil plays many cards to stay alive. But the final card evil will always play is to make you and me think that nothing can be done to stop it. If that happens, if we believe that we can't stop it, then evil wins. It doesn't matter even if it's on its last legs. If none of us think we can stop it, it will win. That is why even if you may feel tired, even if you don't know where this path will take us, even if it is out of spite, it is up to us to keep this momentum going and to keep hope alive so that evil can't win. In our cynical world, we are taught that hope is a weakness, but that is not true. Hope is powerful. Hope is liberation. Hope is revolutionary. And I know that hope is alive because each and every one of you are here. You are taking time out of your day to make your school hear your voice. Howard University must not comply with the Trump administration and their fascist agenda. Howard University must not even be silent, because silence in the face of adversity is complicity. We are asking the most basic demands that a school should do for its students and for its staff. We are asking for a sanctuary campus. We are asking for ICE off our campus. We are asking for a refusal to cower in fear to this administration. We are asking for a refusal to comply with federal and fascist agents. We are asking for protections for speech and for funding for the students and staff of this school. We are demanding that our school, the place where our ancestors fought with blood so that we have a place to learn in peace, performs its most basic duty and protects its students and staff. I want to end on this note. Nihilism is easy, but hope is harder. But I'm choosing to have hope that things will change, so as long as we keep fighting.